This is Draconian Combat, episode 72. Today we got Ian Hibbs. How you doing, Ian?
Doing good. How are y'all?
I'm doing good, man. You kind of want to give us an introduction, where you're training out of, your gym, and, just kind of how you got started. I know you're rather young, actually. So how you kind of got started in the sport? Did you do any sports in high school? How did it came about?
Yeah, so I'll just start right now. I have 5 belts. I have AMI 35 title for peak. I have an AMI 55 title for peak. I have a 45 title for melee. I have 45 and 35 title for Real Deal Championships. And right now I'm training out of Texarkana, Texas. And I've been training since I was about 8, so that's about 11 years now. I'm 19 now.
Okay.
And I did just about every sport. I played soccer, I played baseball, football, all the things. And once I did fighting, I just kind of fell in love with it from there. At about 8 years old, I still did other sports, but I started really focusing on fighting about 12.
Okay. Yeah. No wonder you started hella early, bro. That's, in three belts in 3 different weight classes. I've never heard about that with someone of your age. That's really respectable. And I can admire that from an athlete. That's really dope. I want to talk about one of your fights. I believe one of your belts you won off a short notice, right? And it was at 155.
Yeah, the 55 title. That was 12 hours notice.
Yeah, that's insane. You want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, so that was my second MMA fight, and I was supposed to fight. I can't remember his name. It was supposed to be a 35 fight in the undercard, and I was cutting weight, and then they called and were like, "Your dude's not going to make it." So they kept scrambling, looking for opponents. Nobody would take the fight, which is understandable because it's on 12 hours notice.
Right.
And so Igor, forgot to say his name. Igor, his opponent pulled out too. So I was like, shit, I'll take that. Make it for a belt, and I'll take it for sure. And it was 55 title. There, got the dub, dominated, and made for a cool story for sure.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what's your walk around rate? Do you have a preference at which weight class you fight at? 135, 145, or 155, or
35? Yeah, 35 is the one I want to pursue. So as I turn pro, I'm definitely gonna be a 35er. But 45 is nice. I don't have to cut as much, and I'm never fighting a 55 again ever. But 45 is definitely nice. But 35 is my sweet spot. I walk around 165, 160.
Okay.
So it's a good cut, but it's definitely doable if I'm just disciplined the whole camp. 35 is where I'm going to be most of my career for sure.
And you as an athlete, being rather young, you have a lot of experience in championship fights.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of go talk about your mentality going into these fights, where your head's at, and just what it's like for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I take it as serious as a pro fight. I'm always putting those hard camps in. I'm going to training with the best guys. The mentality is a little different because even though it's a championship fight, it's still only a 15-minute fight because it's 3-minute rounds. Mm-hmm. But we train 5-minute rounds. I train like a pro. I'm training for the job I want. You know what I'm saying? So I train like a pro. I live like a pro. It's a complete lifestyle. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, it's all like a pro. So the mentality is different than a lot of these amateurs. They train hard, but they don't have that same mentality. They don't have that. They don't work the same. They don't sacrifice like I sacrifice, So it's definitely a different mentality than just about anybody I fight.
Gotcha. Adrian, did you want to touch on anything before I keep going?
So Ian, you fought for a bunch of promotions. So you fought for what, 3 or 4 promotions right now, right?
Yeah.
Peak, Melee, RDC. What has been your favorite promotion so far? That says venue, how the walkout was, how the fighters were treated in the back. What has been your favorite promotion to fight for?
I gotta say Peak, but Peak always just spoils the fighters. Everyone you feel like you're in the UFC when you fight for Peak. They do everything like the UFC pretty much. They do the cool photo shoots. They have stuff to drink after weigh-ins. They treat you nice. The gloves are the good quality. Everyone there, is a good people. Real Deal is cool because it's just kind of fun. It's kind of it's like that. I don't know how to say it. It almost like a street fight. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of rough. And then Melee is pretty cool because I've never fought in a gym before, and they did their fight in a gym. There was tons of streamers everywhere, and it was pretty crazy. So Melee is pretty cool, but the Peak's definitely my favorite. They do it the best for sure.
I'm going to talk about, I'm going to bring it up right off the bat. So there seems to be some type of, I've never had no problem with you. I've seen you work, and I respect fighters.
Yeah.
But there seems to be some type of controversy with you,
Yeah.
and for some reason, it's yeah. So I'm gonna read it out right now, and I'm gonna ask you, your response because this is a different type of podcast. So I have made a post saying we're bringing Ian Hibbs on the show, and somebody wasn't happy about that. They
I've seen
said
that.
the way this person celebrates their victory is lewd, unsportsmanlike, and completely out of line with what the sport represents. Athletes are role models, whether they like it or not. This kind of behavior is disrespectful to the sports and fans. Every athlete's working hard to represent something greater than themselves. Talent means nothing without character. Conduct matters. Legacy matters. Let's do better. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, who is that? Because like nobody knows who the hell that is. First of all. Second of all, don't watch me. If you have such an issue with it, don't watch me. Everyone's talking about a role model. It's just like don't copy me. It's like you have free will. Don't do that. And I hate when people talk about the sport that is fighting. It's not a sport. It's fighting. There's no fucking teams. There's no anything like that. It's fighting. There's a winner and a loser, and the loser's gonna be hurt, and the winner's probably gonna be hurt. It's fighting. So if you don't like that, you don't even know what you're really in, because fighting is one of the most, rough and dark endeavors out there. You know what I'm saying? It's violent, it's aggressive. So I don't know what he's talking about, sport or anything like that. If you go in there to fight, I hug. If I need to hug, I'm gonna hug my mom, but I'm not going in to hug my opponent. So like, if I hip thrust him, how's that? I just shocked bro in the face. I just took him down and choked him. He's bleeding. But you're mad because I hip thrust. I did a little WWE move that kids watch. You know what I'm saying? It just shows what kind of character you have. And it's also showing that he has nothing going on in his life, because it's like you took the time to write a paragraph about some bullshit. So people cannot like it, but I have, like they say, bad publicity is still publicity. So I have people watching. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck. So.
Right. And I kind of agree with you too, because, I think, there's honor and respect in fighting, but this ain't no Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off Karate Kid type of shit. This is actual combat. You know what I mean? This isn't a fucking movie. And when you look at the UFC and, these bigger platforms, you have fighters like Izzy, you have fighters like Sean O'Malley, you have fighters like Connor, who kind of have that same mentality to promote themselves. And there's a bunch of different examples, but it's like, you as a fighter, are you just supposed to go out there, fight, and disappear and not promote yourself? Are you, you do things, I feel like, correctly, even though it might not be everybody's cup of tea. You do a good job promoting yourself, dude. Like, I know you have a buddy, I think, his name's Benjamin. Like, I know, like, when y'all on peak, when they're all on peak and y'all got a fight coming up, all right, I gotta tune in, because y'all promote yourselves very well. Adrian,
that's important.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of fighting. Adrian, you as a fighter, do you want to touch on promoting yourself as a fighter and not just being so closed off?
I mean, I just feel like it's fun. Like, that business aspect of fighting is another part that makes it fun. It's also like another mental game. I like to promote myself too. I'm not necessarily trying to get in my opponent's head, but I want them to know I'm confident, I'm young, and I'm too sharp, I'm too fast. And not only am I too fast for you, I'm going to have all these people that I'm promoting this fight for watch me prove all of those things that I'm saying. So it gives you added pressure, and it makes the fight just feel bigger. And it's good practice, because I'm doing this because I want to be in the UFC. I want to be somewhere where I can make money for fighting. And I feel like my fights are entertaining, but if you're not promoting yourself, no one's going to watch it. And I'm not taking CTE for free. So I need that paycheck, so you got to promote yourself. So that's why I'm a big fan of Ian, because I like the stuff he does. I follow him on Instagram. We're pretty cool because we've done a couple of smokers and stuff at the same gym. And I think it's entertaining. So I do have a question about the celebration, because I'm a big WWE fan myself. Yeah. You didn't do that the first couple of wins. What made you to say, fuck it, I'm about to just tell this kid to suck it? Was it a beef behind it the first time, or you were just like, I'm gonna do it?
I did do it my first MMA fight. So I did my first MMA fight because I was fucking degenerate. I was a psychopath. I had no beef with the guy. I was hype. And then I didn't bring him back till my third fight. And the reason I did it on my third fight is the dude missed weight by 9 pounds. So
Marquise, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
What's the fucking weight, bro?
Yeah, I was like, fuck you, bro. Like,
I remember that.
So I did it that fight. Let's see. I didn't do it again until 2 fights ago when I fought Cameron Shamsi. He missed weight by 9 pounds. He told me before the fight, touch gloves. Went out there, fake glove touch, ninja kicked me, bro, across the fucking cage. So he was a dirtbag, bro. So as soon as I knocked his shit out, I got him and did that shit to him. And that was the reason for that one. And I don't get why people like, did y'all watch the fight? Did you not see how disrespectful bro was? So it's
No,
No,
like,
I actually seen that fight too.
Yeah.
And yeah, you went out for a touch. I didn't know about what happened before the fight, but I did notice you went out to touch gloves and he like fucking Spartan kicked you.
yes, I went
Yeah,
flying.
like, so
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be mad about it, like what you did after the fight.
Exactly.
But it's like, yeah, I don't get people's, I mean,
Like
it's
the last
fighting,
fight, I did
It's
do it,
fighting.
and I posted on TikTok, and
Mhm.
it got 234,000 views.
Jeez, damn.
Bro, of course I'm gonna do it every fight. I don't care if the dude is nice to me. Like, it gets
Yeah.
publicity. It makes you blow up. People are talking about it. Whether it's good or bad, it's still publicity. It's still something that's gonna catch the eyes of the people you need to see. So, yeah.
And I feel like you being I could say you're a high caliber fighter and you're not even in your prime yet. I can see, I can see the frustration why people will be mad at it, but it's like, fuck it. Like you said, you got 200K views.
Thanks.
You're so young in your career right now. It's like, think about this 5 years down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, it's fighting, man. It's fighting. And at the end of the day, they're like, bro, this ain't no Karate Kid type shit. Like, people are getting knocked out, having seizures. Like, you should be able to express yourself how you want to express yourselves. And that seems like, when you get to the bigger leagues, it's almost glamorized, especially like fighters like Conor McGregor. Like, it's like idolized, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I really don't get the frustration with you as an athlete.
Exactly. It's because you're young and I'm still the amateur, so people are just like,
I think it's people trying to be fake humble.
And bro, I see you working. Like, I really do see you working. I really see you working. And I don't know what it's like to be at your point, but I understand the discipline and the commitment and sacrifice it takes to get where you're at. So, it's not like you're doing this shit and going out there and just a bum and losing. No, you're standing on business.
Most of the fighting hard fights.
I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So.
You want to talk about because I know you said you had a problem with the fighter. You want to talk about any fighter beefs? Like, which one really made you like not like that fool?
I'll talk about one that's funny, bro. Y'all had Maddox on here talking crazy, bro. It was. I didn't even watch that full episode, but I saw someone sent me a screen recording of the shit he said. It was funny, bro. It's just like, I get you were sick. Maybe you were sick, but like, if you're sick, you're talking about that's what you lost. Okay, maybe you lost like a split decision. No, he got butt fucked. Like, if we're talking about anything, like, absolutely obliterated. Like, I dropped him 3 times in 1 2-minute round. Dropped him again in the second round, and he quit. He was crying on the ground with his dad. Like, he got humiliated. I don't know what he's talking about. Sick. Like, if anybody has some shit wrong, I didn't even cut weight. I just showed up. He cut weight, so he was heavier than me. Everybody in that building kept telling me I was going to get knocked the fuck out. So the whole entire crowd's against me. Everyone come up to me, his whole family, his friends, everybody telling me all this shit. And it's his promotion. His coach is the promoter. And so if anybody has some shit against them, it's me. So, and I didn't even talk about any of that. I went out there, slipped this shit, and his coach wrapped the belt around me. DeJuan wrapped the belt around me. So, I mean, I'd be pretty upset, too, if my coach wrapped the belt around the dude that murdered me. But, I can get why he's bitter. It's just funny about it. It's like, I was respectful. I came in, won and left and didn't make a big deal about it. I wasn't even going to talk a lot about it. But it's the fact that he wants to say some shit. And that was the easiest fight of my life. Like, the easiest one of my life. And then a different beef, if it had the second to last fight with Cameron Shamsi, he talked so much shit. Talking about, he was crazy. I mean, that was probably the biggest beef I've had going into a fight.
Yeah, I had to ask. I mean, I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. When we did have Maddox on, he did talk about it a little bit. You're obviously going pro event, or I think next fight, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything lined up, but yeah.
So that fight with Maddox is never going to happen again, probably no time soon. I know he talked about possibly a rematch in MMA, but yeah, I remember that episode. I don't have a problem with Maddox. You know, I
I
don't have a
wouldn't
problem
either.
with any of the fighters. They can come on my platform and say whatever they want. But yeah, he did voice, you know, in his opinion, how he felt about the fight, and he did voice again if you think, you know, if you guys did fight again, he thinks that he would, you know, get the victory in MMA.
Well, I told him I was like, we can spar. Like,
We could.
fuck. Like,
Like us, yeah.
think, watch his career, bro. Watch his career. Watch my career, and we'll see what happens. I don't think he gets past. I think he quits after he gets obliterated again. It's like he's fighting homeless people, and his only couple wins before me were two homeless guys. I know for a fact they're fucking homeless. Like, there's no. He hasn't fought anybody, and then I felt disrespectful that I was fighting him. You know, it was kind of it was retarded. So watch his career, watch my career. Next time he fights someone high level, it's gonna show. And yeah, I mean, I'd be so surprised if we met again because our trajectories on two different planes.
Right. Let's talk about your trajectory as a fighter. What are your goals? Like, what's your overall goal? I know everybody says the UFC. You know, I'm a little nosy. I see on your page, you know, you want to be the future 3-weight champion. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are your goals as a fighter?
Yeah, so definitely want to go to the UFC. You know, I know it's one of the hardest things. I've seen some of the best guys I've trained with, you know, just get to the UFC, or it's, you know, they're still working towards. So I know how hard it is, you know. That's why I'm working so hard every day. My goal is to get to the UFC, hopefully get to the top, get a title, get 3 belts. You know, no one's ever done that before. I feel like I've done that as an amateur, and I'm trying to repeat it as a pro. So get to the UFC. I'm shooting so high that even failure is great. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
Yeah, get a title, get a UFC title, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that. You know, as far as with your style, is there anybody that you grew up watching or anybody currently that you kind of take things from to add to your style and kind of incorporate into, you know, your own style? Is there any fighters out there that you look up to or admire?
Yeah, well, growing up when I was little, Conor McGregor was my favorite fighter. Definitely not my favorite fighter anymore. It's more like these days it's like the Islams, Marab, Khabib, those guys are good at everything. You know what I'm saying? Ilia Topuria, just those guys. It's the future of the sport type guys that they're phenomenal in every facet of the game. Like Islam can strike with any of them and can grapple with them. Same with Topuria. So it's just like Marab. These guys are good at everything. And that's why I like to see the future of the sport and the evolution and how if you want to make it in the UFC, you have to be you have to be phenomenal at everything. Conditioning, striking, grappling, all the things. So I like to see the future of the sport like that. I feel like that's what the entire game is going to be here soon in the next like 10 years. Everyone's just going to be amazing at everything.
No, you're right. Because I remember when I was young, I mean, we had like Forrest Griffin as champion. You know what I mean? So the sport has really evolved since, you know, when I was younger. And you're 100% right. Like now, you know, you're going to have to be good at everything. Every discipline. You can't just go out there and be a phenomenal striker. Now you have to have a grappling base now. You have to be able to stuff takedowns. And we're on the topic right now. Marab versus O'Malley is happening tonight. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
Who do I think and who do I want? Man,
all right, let's see both.
Let's go out there and starch Marab shit, bro. If I love Marab, but just the story of O'Malley, if he can go out there and do that, it's just it's sick. So, but what I think is gonna happen is O'Malley's gonna look a little bit better. It's gonna be a little bit harder to get him down. At best, he might even drop Marab, but I think he gets crotch sniffed the whole fight. To be honest, I think it's a decision win for Marab. But man, if Sean O'Malley gets the knockout, I'm back on that Sean O'Malley train. So yeah.
Hey man, he's gonna turn into a superstar again. He already is. But you know, if he does win, I already know that trilogy is gonna be next. Like there's no way.
Yeah. They're either gonna do that or put him against another striker. You know, because
Sandhagen. You think
they're either gonna make them rematch or they're gonna put him against like Sandhagen or something? Because Umar or Marab, those are all dangerous fights for O'Malley.
Adrian, did you have any questions?
Honestly, not really. I asked that one question. I feel like you pretty much touched base on all of the like, similar questions I wanted to ask.
I know you're a big O'Malley fan. What are your thoughts about the fight tonight, man?
Honestly, the way the universe is feeling, I feel like O'Malley's going to get the job done. I hope so. $80 on a pay-per-view. So if I spend $80 and I watch Marab sniff his crotch for 25 minutes, I would be very upset.
Hold up.
That's $80 I will not get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patchy Mix and Mario Bautista is also a crazy fight. This card is actually really stacked. I'm really excited for that Patchy Mix fight.
Bro, I hope what's her name? Kayla Harrison starches.
Oh, that's a good fight too. Damn.
Whatever the fuck her name is, bro. She does not shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't like her either, bro.
Bro,
I don't like her.
like, I never have a problem with women's MMA, but she makes me have a problem with women's MMA. And so, I hope Kayla Harrison starches her.
I think it might be it should be a good fight. Juliana's tough though, bro. She is a dog.
Kayla Harrison's a dude, bro. Like, this is a man versus a woman for sure. And then Patchy Mix, I'm excited to see that one. He's very good. It's gonna be interesting to see how he does against this guy. So,
and he's 135, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be interesting to see him in that division. And actually, I think Bryce has dropped down to 135 too.
I've seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's fighting a Said Nurmagomedov.
Oh, one of the Habibs.
Yeah, the striker one, because he just fought another dude named Oliveira, and that's who he lost to on that Izzy.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be interesting seeing Patchy. And I'm always curious with Bellator dudes crossing over to the UFC. I think Patchy's the one to do it. You know who I would love to see make that transition? I don't know what's going on. Is what's his name? My mind just went right. AJ McKee.
Oh that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to see him make that transition to UFC. I don't know if he can compete with those top 3 dudes.
Yeah,
but I feel like he can compete with a lot of that division. And he's one of those dudes from Bellator too. Like I want to see. I'm glad I'm seeing Patchy in there finally. He's about to make that money finally. He's already making money, but he's about to make some real money now. And it's going to be interesting seeing him fight, in that division. We don't want to hold you for too long, Ian. As we close the show, we do like to ask fighters about their Mount Rushmores of MMA. So if you can choose 4 fighters to put on your Mount Rushmore in MMA, who would they be?
See, I have to think about this one. So for sure,
no problem.
John Jones is on there, 100%.
Okay.
Demetrius Johnson's on there, 100%. Let's see. GSP.
Okay.
And then you'd have to either go. Islam hasn't finished his career yet, but if he finishes his career undefeated, you have to put Islam. But I'd probably go John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, GSP, Khabib. That's probably what I'd put on there.
Okay. That's pretty good. I think I had John Jones, Demetrius Johnson. I'm a little bit older than you guys. I had Anderson Silva and Fedor. I grew up watching them.
I like Anderson Silva, but it's just like I don't put him as an all-time great because it's like a lot of these other guys, they can compete with any of them, but Anderson would have got cross-sniffed by everyone today. So
for sure. The like you were saying earlier, like the evolution of the sport.
Facts.
At the time, Silva was untouchable. It seemed like,
Yeah.
But like, the sport evolves. Now we have people like Izzy in the division, Hamzat. DDP's weird ass. It just works for him. He's knocking fools out, finishing fools. So the division has changed a lot, since back in the day when I was watching it. And it evolves. I think I put him on my list. I'm a little bit biased. He's one of my favorite fighters. You know what I mean? He's kind of how I got started in the sport and watching him growing up. And I kind of idolize him,
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's one of those dudes that just goes out there and during his prime, like he was almost a boogeyman for a minute. Like people didn't want to fight him, but outside of the cage, he was like this friendly ass dude.
Yeah.
With the softest voice ever. So, growing up, I always loved Anderson Silva. So I'm a little biased. That's why I put him in there. Gotcha. What was your list, Adrian? I can't remember.
I did a fun one because Bo did, but seriously though, mine would be John Jones, DJ, GSP, and Izzy. Okay. I feel like Izzy was kind of what Silva was doing, minus some of the cool knockouts in a more modern middleweight division where there was grapplers, people who were trying to take him down, people who were trying to stand and bang with him. Izzy went on a pretty impressive streak, and then even B. Pereira, which kind of ended up aging pretty well. So I got to have Izzy on mine. Plus, one of those things. He inspired me to start kickboxing and get into the sport. So gotta have Izzy on there.
Gotcha. As we close the show, Ian, we love bringing fighters on. We hope we can follow you throughout your career and bring you on again at some point. Maybe after a pro debut, we get a little update. You know what I mean?
For sure.
We never want to bring a fighter on and just use them. We don't do that. We like to bring fighters back on our platform, and then we allow them to speak freely. So if you ever want to come on the show and you have something to say and you feel like you can't say it on another platform, this is a platform to do it. You can voice it. You can say what you want. As we close it out, is there any shout outs to anybody? I know you said you had a fighter. Is that fight still going on for one of your teammates?
So my boy Larry's fight fell through, but Trey Brooks, he's still fighting tonight. So
okay. So if you have any shout outs, people you want to shout out, sponsors, gyms, tell people about your following, where to follow you on Instagram, Facebook, etc.
Check me out on Instagram. It's Ian Hibbs .5. TikTok, Ian Hibbs 06. And go give me a follow. Check me out on YouTube, Ian Hibbs. And I appreciate y'all for having me on.
No, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, we appreciate you. We look forward to having you on again. And much love and respect to you. I know you get a lot of hate, but we want to see you strive in the sport. And we see what you're doing. But besides all the bullshit and what people are saying, we see you working. So we really respect that. So we look forward to your career, man. And
appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too, man.
Draconian Combat, episode 72 with Ian Hibbs. We're out.
Peace.